Hi, welcome to SS Bhushan's channel. I am SS Bhushan, lecturer in English. Today we shall deal with pronouns. In my earlier class, we dealt with personal pronouns, compound personal pronouns, demonstrative pronouns, next indefinite pronouns, relative pronouns, compound relative pronouns. Okay. Now we shall deal with the remaining pronouns. That is interrogative pronouns. Interrogative pronoun. Next one is reciprocal pronoun. Next one is distributive pronoun. Next one is reciprocal. Interrogative, reciprocal, and distributive pronouns. In my earlier class, you might have come across the words who, whom, whose, which, what. We learned these same words as relative pronouns. For example, he is the man, he is my father, he is it is the place I did my post graduation. He is the man who is my father. There we use this word who to show relation between two clauses. This is the place where I did my post graduation. So that where is called relative pronoun because it is used to show relation between two clauses. This is the book, I like it. This is the book which I like it, which I like most. So that which is used here as a relative pronoun. But the same words are used as interrogative pronouns also now. And let me show you or demonstrate you how these words are used. Coming to interrogative pronoun. It is used to make a question. The meaning of interrogate means to put some question, to interrogate, to ask. So here interrogative pronoun means the word that is used in the beginning of a sentence to draw some answer, to elicit some answer, to get some answer, to derive some answer, to gather some information from the other person or from the context, given context. So here, who, whom, whose, which, what, etc. are known as interrogative pronouns, and we shall examine how they are used in these sentences. Who is used for persons in nominative case. For example, who is the Prime Minister of India? The answer is Narendra Modi is the Prime Minister of India. In this sentence, we can observe that Narendra Modi is the subject. Okay? What for have I written there? Who is used in the nominative case means, in my earlier class I explained you that nominative case is nothing but the word that is used in place of the subject or in place of a noun is called, it is said to be in the nominative case. So here in this sentence also, Narendra Modi is the Prime Minister of India. If we want to put some question to get the answer regarding the Prime Minister of India, we have to use who, not what. We have to use who. Who is the Prime Minister of India? Okay, here is not written. Who is the President of USA? Joe Biden. Just the answer. Joe, instead of this who, if we write Joe Biden is the President of USA, that is enough. We got the answer when we post the question who with the interrogative pronoun who. In the same manner, who is the Prime Minister of India also? Narendra Modi. Here, who is the Prime Minister of India? Let us imagine. So, Modi is the Prime Minister of India. Okay? Now, so this who is used for persons in the nominative case. That means we got the answer Narendra Modi, which is said to be in the subjective case or which is said to be in the subject's place. Now, coming to the next one. Whom. It is also used for persons in the accusative case. It is also used for persons, but it is used in the accusative case or is also called as objective case. For example, here, whom do you wish to marry? Okay. The answer for it is I wish to marry Rakul. I wish to marry Rakul or Samantha or Sriya or somebody else. Okay. So in this sentence, I is the subject, wish is the verb form, marry is also verb form, Rakul. I wish to marry Rakul. So this Rakul is said to be in the objective case or accusative case. So if we want to get the answer Rakul or somebody else in this sentence, we have to pose the question in such a manner that whom do you wish to marry? Whom do you wish to marry? So I wish to marry Rakul is the answer. Or you want to visit a sacred or a holy place, some Shirdi or Tirupati. So you said that I want to take Parjanya with me. Whom do you want to take with you? I want to take Parjanya. I want to take Sai Tanmay. They are said to be in the accusative case. So in order to derive or get information regarding the accusative case, then we have to use whom, and it is used for persons. Hope you understood. Next one. Whose. Whose is used in the possessive case. It is used in the possessive case. The meaning of possession means owning something or having something or indicates ownership. So here also whose is said to be used in the possessive case. For example, this is Sharwani's bag. This is Sharwani's bag. So in this sentence, if we want to put a question, whose bag is this, or to which person this particular article belongs to which person this article belongs, then we have to put the question, whose bag is this? Then the answer would be, this is Sharwani's bag. So this is said to be in the possessive case, and we have to use this whose to derive the answer in the possessive case. So this is used in the possessive case. Next one, which is used for both persons and things. Now coming to this sentence, which is the longest river in India? Which is the longest river in the world? So if we want to, for example, the student knows the answer. He wishes to say the Nile is the longest river in the world. So if we want to frame a question, then we have to put the which is the longest river. So the answer here would be the Nile. So you forget this one. The Nile is the longest river in the world. So in the same manner, which student did this work? That is also, which also can be used for persons. Which teacher took the class? We shouldn't say who teacher took the class. Which teacher took second MPC? SS Bhushan took second MPC. So here the Nile is the longest river in the world. So it is used for both persons and things. Hope it is clear. Next, what is used for things and what is used for deriving abstract things also. Again I explained, just to go back to nouns, abstract nouns. Now coming to this one. For example, what can I do for you? What can I do for you? I want a good English class from you. So here, what is used to derive the answer regarding some things or abstract things? Or a son asks to his father, what do you expect from me? I expect good manners from you. So what do you expect? I expect good manners. Good manners are called abstract things. I expect love. I expect filial love from you. Love shown towards the parents is called filial love. So in this sentence, what can I do for you? The answer is, I expect a good class from you. I expect these sums to be solved. So for such a statement, if we want to put a question, then we have to use what. In the same manner, just as a matter of reference, to show you the difference between what are you and who are you. Most of us get confused with this. What are you? What are you is used to indicate profession. Profession. And who are you to who are you is used to derive personal details. For example, what are you? I am a lecturer. Who are you? I am S.S. Bhushan, working as lecturer in English at Government Degree College. So, what are you indicates what are you is used to derive the person's profession, and who are you is used to derive the name and other personal details also. Okay. Now coming to the next one, that is distributive pronoun. The name distribution, the word distribution itself says that it is mentioned to each and every particular thing. Distribution. So here distributive pronoun. These distributive pronouns are used to talk individually, or separately. They are each, everybody, everyone, everything, either, neither. Now coming to them. Each. It is used for persons and things taken separately, without any exception. For example, each of you must come in school uniform tomorrow, because tomorrow is Independence Day or tomorrow is Republic Day. So each of you, each of us has a ticket, each of us has a berth. B-E-R-T-H, berth means seat. So each is used for both persons and things. Next one. So one thing basically you have to remember that all of them are used to talk individually or taken as separately, mentioned as separately. Okay. Next one, everybody. It is also used individually only. Everybody in the class was tired. But here a common error is also mentioned. It is used only in singular verb form. For example, everybody in the class were tired is strong. Were tired is strong. Everybody in the class is tired or was tired are correct. Okay. So it is used in the singular verb form only. Next one. Everyone. It is also used in the singular verb form only. Everyone in the class admired him or admires him. But we shouldn't say admire him. Wrong. This is wrong usage. Everyone in the college admires him. If we want to say in the present tense, everyone in the college admires him is the right usage. So that means it is used in the singular verb form. This everyone is used in the singular verb form, and this everybody is also used in the singular verb form. Now coming to everything. Everything is fair in love and war. It is also used in the singular verb form. Everything is fair in love and war. In love, whatever the form that is adopted is fair. And in war also, whether we are playing a fair war or crooked war or wicked war, it doesn't matter. Whatever the steps or schemes that are used there are good there. Nobody can find fault with those steps in war. So in the same manner, so everything are fair in love and war. Wrong. Everything is fair in love and war. So that is the reason I mentioned very clearly that you have to use singular verb form. Next one. Either it is used to express one or the other of the two. One or the other of the two. For example, there are two brothers or two sisters. So, or two wives. Either of my two wives is beautiful. So here used to express one or the other of the two. But anyway, you have to remember that it is used only to mention two persons. Either of my two wives is beautiful. That means wife X and wife Y. For example, some Rakul or some Sriya, both of them are beautiful. I would like to say that both of them are beautiful. So either of my two wives. Here either of my two wives is beautiful. Here is must be used. Next one. Neither it is used to express not the one or the other of the two. There are two persons, but either this X or this Y is good. Either this X has done the work, neither that X has done the work, nor that Y has done the work. In such cases, we have to use this neither in negative senses. For example, neither of my wives is mentally strong. For example, Rakul and Sriya, both of them are my wives. Neither of them is mentally strong. Neither of my wives is mentally strong. Rakul is not mentally strong. Sriya is also not mentally strong. So then I have to use this sentence. But here in this sentence, both of them are beautiful, and both of them this either indicates that both of them have good qualities. Okay. Now coming to the last one, reciprocal pronoun. The word reciprocate, the verb form reciprocate means to give something, for accepting something from the other person. That means, for example, Parjanya gave apples on my birthday. I reciprocated him with bananas on his birthday. So I reciprocate. Simply give and take. Okay? Now coming to this. Reciprocal pronoun. Each other, one another. These are the two reciprocal pronouns which must be used in our, which can be used in our day-to-day life. Each other indicates two persons. The two brothers loved each other. Here two brothers loved each other. Only two persons are there. Each other must be used. There is no confusion at all. Next, coming to one another. More than two persons or things. More than two. The thieves fought with one another. When we use the plural noun form thieves, it may mean 3 or 4 or 5, but more than 2. So the thieves fought with one another means more than 2 persons are there. We have to suppose, we have to imagine like that. So reciprocal pronoun means each other or give and take. As I have said, the two brothers loved each other means the two brothers give and take love. So in the same manner, the thieves fought with one another means X fought with Y, Y fought with Z, Z fought with A, B, C, etc. So there are more than 2 persons or things. Okay. So with this, we have completed the chapter called pronouns. We shall go to the next chapter. Thank you for watching my channel SS Bhushan. Please like, share, subscribe and share these links to all of your WhatsApp contacts. Thank you.